The sage is outlining the hunter's destiny. And it's the destiny of the hunter to practice austerities and penances. And in this way, he'll win a very specific set of boons from the Lord. The sage continued, "After the departure of the Lord, you will continue your penance. Your body would have been reduced to a skeleton by this time, but now it will acquire a radiance on account of the boon. You will bow down to me, and soon your body will become divine. It will fly around faster than Garuda." Fly around here's got a couple of apostrophes round it, so I think we have to be careful about taking it in the physical sense. "Progressively expanding and including the celestial bodies within it." This was part of the boon, that it will grow a mile an hour. This was so that all of conditioned existence can be explored. This was also the theme of King Vipashchit, within whose story this story is occurring. King Vipashchit split into four in order to pursue all four directions. The feeling being that by exploring, eventually you'll come to the end. You'll come to the end of conditioned existence and get through or get over to the other shore. Because the enlightened sage is big compared to conditioned existence. The whole universe becomes like the footprint of a camel hoof, something that can be stepped over. But the hunter's not in this position yet. The hunter is still confined within the limits of conditioned existence, but his body is now progressively expanding and including the celestial bodies within it. In that expanding body he will see the countless universes as so many waves in the ocean. Just as in the beginning all these universes arose in the infinite consciousness, even so at that time these universes will come within the sphere of your vision. You will then realize that just as all this is unreal and diverse in the vision of the ignorant, they are real and indivisible to the enlightened. Well, normally we think it's taken as real by the unenlightened, but I think we're talking here about the cosmic vision, the vision of universes rising and falling. We don't often have that context or that perspective. Thus, seeing the alternate arising and subsiding of these countless universes, you will spend a long, long time. You will then be filled with admiration for this infinite intelligence. You will become aware of your own body and say to yourself, "What is this wretched body which is huge and heavy? It has become of incomparable dimensions, since with it I have filled the entire space. What shall I do after this? I myself do not know. It seems to me that this ignorance and the world appearance is immeasurable. It cannot be measured at all without a direct knowledge of Brahman." This is the point. You cannot get beyond conditioned existence by exploring conditioned existence. You have to turn your awareness to that intelligence within which all conditioned existence arises. Because the ignorance is infinite. The ignorance is infinite because Brahman is infinite. The number of veils by which Brahman is covered is infinite. "I shall discard this body, for nothing can be attained with it. This body of mine is huge and supportless, but it is not possible for me to have the company of the enlightened sages with its help." So thinking that you can find the truth by doing things to the body basically cuts you off from communication with enlightenment. Having thus decided, you will abandon your body. Your jiva, endowed with just the life force, the prana, will become even subtler than air. Abandoned by the jiva, the body will fall, crushing the earth, etc., by its sheer size and weight. And it's not just the earth here, it's the whole earth plane, it's the whole physical plane of existence. This was described as the cosmic dissolution by Vasistha when he was rescued by the fire god. He wondered where this big body came from, and it's the body of the hunter. The goddess, known as dryness, will consume that body and thus purify the earth. Thus have I told you what the future holds for you. The hunter asked, Lord, terrible is the sorrow that has to be endured by me for no real gain at all. Is there a means by which this fate can be averted? It's possibly a bit of a red herring, but I feel I ought to mention this. What about the countless others that were destroyed when this hunter's body fell crashing to the earth plane? Should we not be concerned about them? And this relates back to points I've previously made, which I now have to go beyond. And it's to do with the role of compassion. The hunter here is concerned with his own suffering. But this suffering is really for illustrative purposes. It's the suffering of the spiritual practitioner who's uselessly punishing himself in the name of spirituality. But to get back to my point about compassion, we're in a dream. We're in a dream. And what role has compassion in a dream? Especially when you're pursuing the truth. True compassion can really only be exercised by the enlightened mind. In the meantime, the rest of us have just got to get on with behaving ourselves and try to live as harmoniously as we can within the limits of our ignorance. Otherwise, once we've realized the true dreamlike nature of reality, we have to do what we have to do in order to awaken. And we shouldn't take compassion as an excuse. We shouldn't use compassion as an excuse not to go beyond our own discriminations.